JP Morosi on the inside corner. It is almost the All-Star break, and everyone needs it. I was looking at the list of injured stars, and it is lengthy. Tell me about Mookie Betts, because initially we thought it was going to be 2 weeks' time.
Good morning, Lauren. Obviously, it's been longer than that, certainly with that right rib fracture, but good news coming for the Los Angeles Dodgers, because just yesterday he was on the field at Dodger Stadium taking batting practice there. So very, very encouraging news indeed. I was very intrigued as well to see the reporting by Fabian Ardaya about where the situation stands with Mookie and what he could do when he comes back. Interestingly, Dave Roberts said that it's possible Mookie could actually get some time at second base, of course, where he originally came up with the Red Sox, just to make sure that he's not having to throw too far and at too great of an intensity right away from when he comes back from the injured list. So stay tuned there. Also, of course, great to have now, Lauren, the National League DH for these purposes, because, of course, the Dodgers can ease Mookie back in that role as well before they really feel comfortable with him letting it loose, throwing from right field. So, again, very positive trend lines there for the Los Angeles Dodgers. In any case, the expectation is strongly Mookie Betts is going to be back before the All-Star break.
That's a good point about the DH, because Dave Roberts initially said throwing was a problem, so we will see. What about Ronald Acuña Jr.? JP, he's all over the All-Star voting. He says the foot feels fine. He's healthy. Why are they slow playing it? Just to make sure?
Well, Lorna, it's a fair question. Of course, he was still on the active roster and remains on the active roster, and that was the case even this week in Philadelphia, where, of course, we had our showcase game earlier on in the week. He just was not physically there until yesterday. So he showed up, was able to just test out that foot a little bit with the team officials and the medical staff to make sure that he's feeling better with that foot where he fouled the ball off. You see it there. That was last weekend against the Dodgers. The expectation is, and from what Ronald had said to Mark Bowman, our colleague at MLB.com, it looks like he will be in the lineup this weekend against the Reds. So again, very encouraging news there for a couple superstar outfielders in the National League. And again, the Braves expecting Acuña will be back, and they have been hot here of late. You think about the play of Michael Harris, a great breakdown by D-Roll earlier in the week about how strongly he has arrived to the major leagues. The Braves believe that with Acuña, they're going to be in good shape here as a new month begins.
The NL East is going to be fun. JP, you are nothing if not consistent. The calendar turns to July, boom, trade deadline. We're all big fans of Bryan Reynolds. He's not long for there, is he?
I don't think so. I think there's a pretty good chance, Lauren, that Reynolds will be moved by the August 2nd trade deadline. I do think he's one of the more intriguing names out there in the outfield marketplace. And Mark Feinstein's written about this possibility at MLB.com. The Yankees are one team that he has mentioned, of course. The Yankees, with the struggles of Joey Gallo, how do they look at the outfield and maybe move some pieces around? And Judge certainly has played a great center field, but Reynolds is obviously an outstanding defensive outfielder that maybe he is able to come in and strengthen that Yankee outfield. The Rays could make some sense because, remember, he doesn't make an exorbitant amount of money right now. And so I think a lot of teams, whether it's the Rays, even Cleveland, I would say, could fit him into that overall picture of their outfield. I would mention the Phillies as well. You think about where their team sets, and certainly they are going to be without Harper for a while. But even with Bryce, you look at the future, they need a really good defensive center fielder to help make the overall picture work better for them in 2023, in addition to the balance of this season. So I do think, Lauren, the interest in Reynolds is high. The Pirates have played some better ball, of course, as Cruz has arrived. There's some exciting trend lines there with the Pirates, but I think unless you can sign him long term, you look at the trade market, and right now a ton of interest in Bryan Reynolds.
And get your deadline tie ready. Let's put it to good use, JP. Do you think when your first at bat in the bigs is a home run and your second a home run that you just think this game is easy? Derek Hall, we were watching his highlights going, what the heck? It's been a journey for him. Tell us about it.
It has been a journey, and he was a later round pick, a 14th round pick out of Dallas Baptist. He actually grew up a really unique town about 20 miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border in the great state of Arizona. And Jim Salisbury, our friend and colleague from NBC Sports in Philadelphia, talked about how Derek's grandfather is a storied junior college coach in Arizona. So tremendous baseball bloodlines. And as you point out, Lauren, to have your first two hits in the major leagues, be as part of a 2-home run game. Amazing. And I loved being able to actually meet Derek earlier in the week and see him there. I loved that before his debut on Wednesday, there was Charlie Manuel on the batting cage, watching him very, very carefully. And I, of course, Charlie's such a great hitting guy. I said, Charlie, what do you think about how Derek's going to do? And he said, hey, he's got a lot of power, loves the game, and this ballpark is going to be great for him. Charlie Manuel, Lauren, knows hitting, and he knows that ballpark, and I think that was a great projection there. But Derek Hall has got a lot of fans in that organization. He's had to work his way, Lauren, at being a later-round pick every single level. He burst into that clubhouse with a lot of excitement and positivity, a lot of fans for him in that organization, a lot of people very, very happy for Derek Hall and his family here this morning.
Now everyone is paying attention. JP Morosi on the Inside Corner. Happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a great weekend.